Hello, everybody. Dagmar Bryant, Mindset and Transformational Coach. Coming to you today, it's a Thursday morning, and for those of you on my feed, you may have noticed that I didn't do a video yesterday. And one of the reasons was, for me, I came out here yesterday and I had a little walk and saw some beautiful little ducklings, and it was a really beautiful, peaceful experience, but I came to sitting here where I normally do my video, and a couple of things had happened over the days before. And for those of you that know me, you would know that I don't generally go very much on social media because I can find that trolling through the feed can be quite a bit negative. I also find that I don't listen to the news very much, but it had just been a couple of days where the same thing kept coming up time and time again, and I was just getting really pissed off. And when I came to sitting in this spot here, I found myself not in the right frame of mind to be able to do a video. And I thought, that is so interesting. I can't really help you. I need to help myself first. And to change my mindset, just to change the way I feel and just change perspective. I think that we all need to do that sometimes, and I can come away from yesterday telling you about yesterday, whereas if I would have been here yesterday telling you about it, it would have been more of a rant. And it's not my style to come out and just rant and swear and carry on, but that's the kind of frame of mind I was in yesterday. My question to you is, do you ever find that you get to be like that you just get so annoyed, so frustrated, so pissed off with what life is throwing at you, and you just need to have a timeout? What is it that you do to refresh yourself, to change your perspective, to take it in another direction to make you feel better? For me, it was just literally having to have a little bit of space and just take myself away from it all. Went for a lovely drive yesterday, and that just refreshed my soul, refreshed my energy. And that was something that I needed to do for myself. What is it that you do? Do you find that you get angry at times and don't know how to express that anger? Is it a way of releasing the anger for you if you go, for example, into the garage and get into the punching bag with your fists just to exert some of that energy? Do you like to go for a walk? Do you like to go for a run? Do you like to just go into a room in the house and just scream? I'd love to hear ways that you find of relieving stress, of relieving pent-up energy and anger and frustration, because it's something that we need to do. We can't all be level-headed and perfectly calm all of the time. That's never going to be normal. There are going to always be fluctuations in our moods, in our behaviors, because of things that are going on in around us. That could be external factors, like for me, like I said, it was just like a little bit of frustration to do with social media and the news, and also a couple of things going on in my business that I needed to step away. So how do you deal with things like that in your day-to-day life? I would highly recommend taking yourself out of the situation if you possibly can, taking yourself away, getting into a space where you can focus on something entirely different. And for those of you that are sports people or are runners in some way, that's probably a great way of getting rid of that, because by exercising, your mind totally gets focused on that other task. For someone who is stuck at home, you might choose to go into the other room and into the kitchen, for example, and do the dishes or do the vacuuming. Go into a room, a quiet space, have a bath, go read a book. There's lots of ways that you can take yourself away from frustration. But I'd love to hear what it is that you do to keep your sanity. Now, as we come out of lockdown, we are going to be seeing differences in the way people behave, differences in the way that people react, because there's still going to be a lot of fear out there, And I know that the media isn't exactly helping with ease those fears in a lot of ways. They keep going on about the same thing time and time again, and it's like they're feeding that negativity. And like I said, I don't listen to much of that, but for someone who does, you might really need to separate yourself from that. Even people coming out of lockdown might just seem a little bit weird for a while, and you might find yourself getting frustrated with the so-called new normal. So bear that in mind. What is it that you need to do to be mindful of the trigger points that you have for your frustration and how you can alleviate those rather than taking it out on people around you? And by the way, that brings me on to a very brief thing that I want to touch on, and that is respect. I've noticed a lot of people just don't seem to have respect for other people. And I find that actually very sad, because it's as if people don't seem to have a high regard for others. It's very much a F you kind of mentality. I'll do whatever I bloody like, and if you don't like it, then tough. And I think that could be a further cause of frustration for people in general coming out of lockdown. Be mindful of yourself. At the end of the day, that's all that you can do, that you can really have a control on, that you can have a handle on. Keep those thoughts in mind, as I hope that you have an absolutely fabulous day. Thanks for listening, guys. Talk to you again tomorrow.